Is Nigel Farage really Britain's sexiest MP? 0207 862 2222. That is the number. Not that I have any views on this one, of course, but my gosh. A new poll by illicitencounters.com, a website for married people wanting to have affairs, has found that Farage beat all the other male MPs to come out as the sexiest MP in Parliament for the second year in a row. He beat Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer and Tories Robert Jenrick and James Cleverly for the top spot. But I'd love to know what you think at home, so do get in touch. I suppose, Belinda, you could say the man has riz. He definitely has charisma, because he definitely does inspire people, and lots of people think he's terrific and he makes a big difference every time he appears. People love to see him and hear him. But sexy?
I can completely understand why many women find him sexy. I mean, courage is a huge aphrodisiac for women. I mean, it makes us weak at the knees. Courage, especially when it's against the establishment, and then it's combined with charm and charisma. You think of Wat Tyler, Captain Kidd, Robin Hood, all the folklore heroes that Nigel now belongs to.
Nigel Farage alongside
be
Wat
still my beating ovaries. It is that kind of man, the kind of Wat Tylers of this world, that I can totally understand why women fancy. And I was even at a Brexit rally at the very early years in 2019, and women were throwing their knickers. You know, and Nigel Farage. Yes, I stood next to her.
Here are my knickers.
He's the Tom Jones of politics for a reason, and I think it's because the sort of very pious, self-righteous, goody two-shoes, sell themselves of saint politicians that we get in politics at the moment. Well, you could look like an Adonis, but one whiff of the surrender monkey about you, and you will unstir any loins. And there's a lot of this weak, wet wipe politician style. That's not going to do anything for women's amore.
Baroness Newlove is nodding away, and she should know she's forever in the House of Lords, so she gets a good look and a good gander at all these people. What do you think?
I can't say him being the sexiest, but I agree. Because he's got a backbone, and he really challenges that debate. It's kind of, you want to be with him. You know, I mean, I'm going to say he's not a poldark. I mean, that's why we have poldark and all this.
Poldark, now you're talking.
You know, and the modern one, not the ancient one. But yeah, I mean, I think that I could get where the charisma, and then I didn't know it was like to have an affair. I'm thinking, no, you know, and I definitely wouldn't throw my Bridget Jones knickers at him, you know what I mean? But I just think, politics does age you, and I suppose with a man, that silver fox, I'm not calling him a silver fox, but I don't get it.
You don't get it.
And I'm trying to think.
Lewis, and you are a campaigner for bisexuality, apart from many other things. So you would know if he's sexy or not.
So, and I'm looking at both the men and the women in the house. I'm looking at them and I'm just thinking maybe I was wrong, maybe I'm asexual, because I just get nothing from any of them in the House of Commons. And Nigel Farage, I don't see it. I mean, you guys have kind of made a good argument, but I just don't see it. I just don't see.
Is it the kind of whiskey drinking, clubbable? You know, you'd like to join him in the pub, and then you'd like to join him for a good old something or other, bit of how's your father afterwards type of a thing?
Be. Or maybe he's just the only recognisable one. I mean, there's probably only about 4 or 5 male MPs that are really recognisable now. Everyone was kicked out the last election. They've got a load of new people in now. Maybe there's a real hunk in the back benches somewhere waiting to be discovered.
Let's have a word with Jennifer in Hertfordshire. Hi, Jennifer. What do you think?
Well, to be quite honest, I cannot see what a woman would see in him. I think he's got a weak chin, he's sly-looking, and looks a bit like a lizard. Not even if I was desperate, I couldn't fancy him. I don't like his politics, and I think he likes the limelight too much.
I mean, I would certainly agree with I mean, I couldn't say anything about the appearance and everything else, but he certainly does love attention. He does thrive in, as you say, the spotlight, the limelight. So, Jennifer, you don't get it. Even of these very convincing arguments about how he oozes charisma, leadership qualities, you know, projects well, you still couldn't fancy him.
Oh, no. I'm an old lady now, but in my youth, and even not so much in my youth, never.
In your life.
And I thought that when he first came on the scene, and he started talking, I thought, a friend of mine said he had charisma, and I thought, well, I can't see it.
And tell me something, is there any other Member of Parliament that you have ever thought was attractive?
No, not really. They're not repulsive or anything. They just don't... I'd like to know their politics first before I can actually look at them and think, you know, it's only superficial facial
You know, Nigel Farage, there's no question. I know that you say that David Cameron has a certain
Well, I think he,
savoir-faire.
you know, in a sense of that he draws you in and everything. Probably, if he's not watching this now, I think I'm like, oh my word.
What makes you think he's not watching it? He's not busy, is he?
No,
Might
no,
well
but,
be
no, but
watching.
I don't. But for me, that's where, and even like with Tony Blair, that charisma, it's that narrative, and I think with politics now, you know, people are drawn in a different way because they're looking, like the lady just said, she's looking at the politics first. And for me, it's about, it'd be quite nice to just say it as it is, bring everybody along, because sometimes that brings you along with them. But yeah, I mean, I don't get it with Nigel Farage. And I'm thinking now, honestly, who is there?
Well, let's go to Diana in East Sussex. What do you think, Diana?
I very much agree with what Jennifer's had to say.
Yeah.
I think Mr. Farage's success hinges on the fact that he tells people what they want to believe rather than what's really going on. And I think it's quite worrying in some ways because I think he whips people up in the hope that they're going to get something, which clearly is impossible. Mm-hmm. And as for his looks, he's always very carefully turned out. Yes. But physically, he reminds me of Kermit the Frog. And his smiling and nodding and what have you just fits perfectly. He is not my cup of tea at all.
Can you think of anyone else in the House of Commons that is attractive to you, that you think is a sexy person?
I think I look at them, they're there to do a job. And I look at them as to how well they do the job. And if they don't do the job, I don't want to know them, quite frankly, because they clutter the place up.
That seems a very sensible thing to say, actually, Diana. And that's why I was so surprised by the whole thing. It's like, who is actually voting for MPs on this basis anyway? But as far as women are concerned, it's interesting to note that Angela Rayner's at the top of the list. Sexiest female MP. Are you surprised
I can
by
see that completely. I mean, I obviously don't share her politics, but I still can respect the fact she has that kind of Nigel Farage connection with the ordinary people. I think she speaks very naturally. I heard her in the Parliament recently saying that she needed a battle with the gingers or something at the Tory opposite MP sitting opposite, who's also ginger. She's funny, she's charismatic. I do think she's a bit sexy, but like the last caller said, I actually agree with her. That's not what they're there to be. They're
not
there
going
to do
over
a job.
big with Helen. You don't think so?
No, I mean, I don't get it. I mean, you know, she's a northern lady, so I will champion her. But no, I just think, I think for me, I do think they listen to the language. And when they said Nigel Farage draws them in, and you know, but actually that should be a message to all other politicians.